the only problem that they've had with these motors is overheating while you're towing a load. So I'll show you some stuff that I did to kind of fix that and help it out, make it run more cooler and efficient. First thing I did, PCV Valve Upgrade. Just those hoses there, and the hose usually fed right into the turbo mouthpiece right there. This just redirects it. It doesn't put all that hot air into the intake of the turbo. So just got a fitting from a hardware store, and ran the piece of tubing back out, and then it just comes out below the truck. Second thing I did was the mouthpieces for these turbos are kind of small from stock. So what I did was I upgraded. I got a aftermarket mouthpiece. It's bigger, allows a lot more airflow in it. It makes it run a lot cooler. Also, it gained about 30 horsepower from that. That's what they say, at least. But really noticeable difference just putting that on. That's around $200. The next thing that I did was just to get cooler air into the motor, because cooler air is denser. Cool air is always better for a motor, especially when you're towing. So just to save some money, this is what I did. I just drilled a hole and put a dryer hose right there at the bottom plastic of the bumper, up behind the headlights, and then right into the air box. So cut the air box out a little bit more to feed that cool air in. And the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a piece of plate steel right here and here, because the fan motor, when that kicks on, it throws a bunch of hot air towards the air box, which throws hot air into the motor. Put new rotors on the rear. Got the rear seals. We're heavy duty towing cross-drilled rotors on the front, if you can see it there. But that'll always keep the rotors from getting warped and keep those rotors cool. So yeah. These have injector pumps that take it from, very minimal PSI. The diesel, I think it's about 23,000 PSI. That's what they do. And there's no fuel pumps in diesels, or at least this diesel. So to help the longevity of the injector pump, I put a FASS, F-A-S-S, fuel enhancer on it. Here's the FASS fuel enhancer. And what it does is it just pulls diesel out of the tank, and it just acts like a fuel pump, like on your car. So it's basically creating about 8 psi from here out of the tank up to the lines to the injector pump housing. So that in return doesn't strain the injector pump as much. So it's just a good thing to have. And I think this is about 320 bucks for the whole kit. The whole kit comes with all the wiring that you need to hook it up to the fuse block, all the fittings to hook it up to your existing fuel line hoses, and it seems to help, I guess. I mean, injector pumps for these are, I think, about $1,000, and then they say it's like a job that you don't want to do. So I was just peace of mind and saving myself some money, always a good thing. The camper, the toy hauler we have, is about 14,000 pounds, and I needed something to slow us down when we're out in Colorado and big hills. So what I got was a bank speed brake, and it's very, very easy to hook up. It's actually just factory connections. It's just unplug, plug it up. Very simple. And then in here, all you do is just hook up a switch for, it has off, low, medium, and high. So that's the grade of aggressiveness that you want the speed brake to be working. So what it does is engages the torque converter at different areas where you need it to put that power to the wheels more. It also creates back pressure. This is a vane turbo. It has vanes, and it closes the vanes to actually create back pressure. It downshifts the transmission, and it has a programmer in here that doesn't allow it to exceed a certain RPM, so you're not going to be over revving your motor when you're going down a big hill. Now I just chose to go the cheap way and get a get the switch here, a Banks IQ for it, which that allows you to cruise control on your braking. You can go in there and program a certain speed that you don't want to exceed, and that's what it'll do without even hitting the brake. So really cool upgrade. I haven't used it much yet because we haven't been on big hill. The Allison transmissions in these already have it's just they call it a transmission brake, but really it just downshifts the transmission when you're in tow haul mode. So all right, next thing I did was I got a Allison deep dish transmission pan for it, just to allow it to run cooler. The more fluid you put in something, the longer it's going to take that you have to actually change it. So there it is. I just put that on right before we left for the trip. And always make sure that you put on an Allison transmission filter. Even just driving, not even towing, every once in a while the fuel gauge or the temperature gauge would go up and down, up and down. I thought I needed thermostats, but I did some research, and actually I just needed to get a new antifreeze reservoir cap. Who would have known? Also, one thing I forgot to mention was I needed a toolbox to keep all my tools, and I didn't want all that weight in the camper, so I got a toolbox, and it was, I got it for 75 bucks off a lady off Craigslist. And then what I did for the inside here was I just put a latch on it, and then this just comes down, and then I got a puck lock for it just to keep it secure. That way people don't get any fucking ideas, you know. Get mud flaps to keep the dirt off the fifth wheel, you know. It just, you know, rocks without them, it would destroy it. So what I got was these, and I forget actually the company I got them from, but just research them a little bit. But they're kind of universal fit, and they're real easy to put in. They just come with a little piece of plate steel here, and you just bolt that in. Then you just bolt it right to your fender. And then of course to tow the fifth wheel, you need a hitch. What I got was actual big plates that just bolts up through the truck bed. The only part that was hard when I put the fifth wheel hitch in was when you bolt up through the bed, of course you got to tighten the bolts, come up through the bed, and that was the only hard part, was just getting to them. Now if you have a lift, it would probably be easy, but I don't. I just work in the stones all the time. Okay, so all in all, I'll give you a breakdown of the cost I put into all this stuff just to make it more reliable and to be able to tow 14,000 pounds pretty much all the time. So the cross-drilled rotors, they were about $250. The Banks speed brake, that was about $500 total for that. For the S&B turbo mouthpiece, that was 200 bucks. For the PCV upgrade, well, hell, I think that was only like $6. And for the custom ram air, well, that was just the cost of a dryer hose, about $8. Pass fuel enhancer, but that was about, I think that was like 350 bucks. And then rear rotors, the seals for the rear, I think that came out to about $300, $400. The frame rails for the fifth wheel hitch, they were, it wasn't much, I think 120 bucks for both of them, and they're actually made for this truck instead of universal little cheap ones. The fifth wheel hitch, we actually got that off of the guy that we brought the camper off of, so he sold that to us for 400 bucks. I think they're like $520 brand new. That's a 20,000 pound rated hitch, so we're well under that. So that's to summarize everything that I've done to this 2005 6.6 liter LLY diesel Chevy. I think without it, I don't know, maybe something would have went wrong, maybe not. But anything to help tow that much weight across the country. If anybody has any questions or anything, let me know, please. Just send me a comment or something and help you try to figure something out or explain something a little better. Check it out, and if you have any questions, let me know. And maybe see some of you out on the road.